When we're talking balance in a handstand or balance in general, there's only one rule that really applies, which is center of mass over base of support. If you have the center of mass directly over the base of support, guess what? You can balance. Take me standing here as an example. I've got the center of mass, which is kind of here-ish, and my base of support is my feet. I can balance. If I were to take my hips too far this way, my center of mass is now moving this way while my base of support stays there. I'll at some point fall. This is the fundamental concept that we need to apply now to when we're doing this drill, the heel pull. We've got our center of mass, which doesn't change, it's the hips, but our base of support is now our hands. So that means that when we're doing this drill, I want you to think about taking your center of mass over the base of support. That's the first and foremost thing. Now, before you actually kick up and try this drill, make sure that you can hold the chest to wall and you're comfortable actually holding your body weight upside down, right? That should be the first thing. If you can't kick up to the wall, there's some progressions you're going to need to go through before attempting this drill. But say you can kick up to the wall, your shoulders are strong enough, we can start playing around with the idea of balance. This is how we would do it. So once you kick up, first thing you're going to do is elevate the shoulders. As we know in my other videos, elevation is first and foremost. Without strong, stable shoulders, doing anything upside down is going to be very, very hard. So first thing, elevate the shoulders. Second thing, we need to get that center of mass over base of support. That's number two. Once we have that, we can then use our hands finally to manipulate balance. And how we do that is just like we do a heel raise from the wrist prep. So that means that I'm going to try to gently press in with my index and middle finger knuckle into the floor. I'm exaggerating it, but this is the motion that we're trying to do to get our heels to gently pull away from the wall. And now if our center of mass is over our base of support, we should be able to hold it. We're then doing everything in our power to manipulate the floor with our hands to try and hold that position for as long as we can. So in practice, it looks like this. Hands closer to the wall to make it easier, further away makes it harder. So start as close as you comfortably can. Fingers are spread, index fingers fall. You're going to kick up, and let's break down the steps. Elevate, hips over the hands, center of mass over base of support. Then use your hands to press into the floor to gently float away from the wall. And back. Press tall, hips over the hands. Finally use your hands to grip and float away from the wall. Initially, the floats will be short. They might be even just this and falling back. And as you get better at grabbing the floor, manipulating the floor with your hands, you will be able to hold longer and longer. 3 steps. Elevate the shoulders. 2, get the center of mass over base of support, so hips over the hands. And 3, use your hands to try and pull away from the wall. If you push too much with the hands, you're going to fall down. That's okay, press straight back up. There's going to be a level of calibration in your mind to be like, okay, what's enough press to come off the wall but not come too far? Now, it might be hard to think, okay, well, how do I actually know that the center of mass is over base of support? How do I know that my hips are over my hands? And the best way to go is feeling. So this is why it's best to take this drill slow. Slowly move your hips away from the hands. As you do that, you'll start to notice, oh, hang on, my feet are getting lighter and lighter on the wall. Oh, they're really light now. And there'll even be a point where you could just take the hips so far away from the wall that you just fall down. And that might not even be a bad drill just to practice, just to see, okay, that's too far. Again, that idea of calibrating, yeah? So use your sense of how heavy your feet are on the wall to dictate that sensation of hips over the hands. At the same time, you know that if the feet aren't coming off and you have to kick the feet off, that the hips are too close to the wall. Now that brings me on to the way that I don't want you to do this exercise, and that is by kicking the feet. This is a way to bastardize this drill that gets you 0 results. What I mean by that is this. So, you know, say I've kicked up, boom, I've got the center of mass over base of support, the hips are away from the wall, and now instead of using my fingers, I'm going to kick my feet or use my feet. You can see that looks very, very different as opposed to now if I use my hands, pressing tall, hips away from the hand, hips away from the wall, dig the fingers in. Those two look very, very different. One was quite obviously using momentum and strength from the legs to try and get into a straight line. And the second one was a deliberate utilization of the hands to press, to peel those feet off the wall. And it's the second one we want to do. If you're just kicking your legs, you're not understanding how to use your hands to come off the wall. So a lot to unpack here. Rewatch this video, try again. First step is elevation of the shoulders. Second step, hips over the hands. Third step, use your hands to pull off the wall. Give that heel pull a go